Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. This is Anthony Pica, and I am your friendly neighborhood spider. No, I had to do that. Anyways, this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. I know it has been a while. I apologize, my podcast friends. I do apologize, but I've been doing lots of videos and things on YouTube every single day. So, if you don't catch it here, you can definitely catch it there. And I'd love for you to stop by and get a chance and also subscribe. Today, we are going to talk about the importance of the customer experience. And are we giving our customers, our potential clients, a great experience that gives them a reason to want to work with us? And I'm going to give you an example of something that's happening to me recently. All right, let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
All right, so you know me, I like to talk about things that are actually happening in my business. So one thing I thought really, that's happening to me right now, and I thought was a really good idea to discuss with you all, is the customer experience. I think, we focus so much, right, on our voice, on our acting, on our abilities, our sound, our quality, our studio, all these things we focus on, and we need to. But there is also one of the most important parts of this whole entire equation is the actual people, the reason why we're doing all this for, right? It's the actual people, the clients, the customers that are purchasing from us. And I think that it's so easy, especially, I do it too. It's so easy to get caught up in so much of the activities and the checklists and all of the different things that we have to do. It's easy to forget how important it is to create a really amazing customer experience from beginning to end. So I want to tell you guys a story of something that's happening to me, and the jury's still out on this, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. But, I, from time to time, I like to pay for coaching and consultations. So as you know, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I really enjoy YouTube and the interaction there, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm trying to grow that channel. And I've not worked with anyone from YouTube. I don't really know much about YouTube except from what I've learned on my own and posting lots of videos. I think I've got close to a couple hundred videos on there now, and I definitely have some software that helps me find tags and helps me remember to do all the specific things that I'm supposed to do to optimize my stuff. But I'm definitely growing. I'm growing at about 100 and some subscribers a month. By the way, there's a reason I'm telling you all this. Anyways, the point is that I want to grow that channel because, as you know, I believe that our social presence, our ability to get ourselves out there to the world really impacts how much voiceover work we get, as well as, our brand, and that has staying power. So anyways, I wanted to reach out to someone to, get some advice, some help. And I've been following a particular person. I'm not going to say their names, of course, but I'm following a particular person who is a YouTube certified consultant, and they have done some amazing things. Incredible work, and with other channels, and they've got an incredible channel on their own, and just really overall just top notch. And, it is quite expensive to book an hour with this individual. The most I've ever paid for an hour to work with someone, upwards to over $600, but it is worth it to me in order to get the advice of a person who has helped specific channels, multiple channels reach over 1 million followers. So, to me, it's well worth it. Anyways, where I'm going with all of this is the other day I went ahead and purchased the consultation, and I received everything was right off, really good. I received an email letting me know that I needed to well, actually, after I purchased the consultation, the next page took me to a questionnaire that I needed to finish up, which was fine, to fill out, my statistics and everything on my YouTube channel. So I sent that and I submitted it, and I had gotten an email, right? I gotten a receipt for the email. I'd also got I got another email asking me to fill out the survey, but of course I had filled it out. Then I submitted the survey, but then I received another email saying I still needed to submit the survey. Now I just submitted it, and I assumed that maybe it was an extra redundancy or something that was added, but I was like, okay, well, I submitted it, I'm not going to worry. And on these emails it said that this person would contact me in 1 to 2 business days to set up the time for the consultation. So I was like, okay, cool. Now the time passed. One business day passed, and we're on the second business day, and I've not received any notification or anything like that, and I can be a little impatient. But anyways, I was concerned a little bit because, like I said, I received the email saying I needed to send in this application or this questionnaire again after I finished it. So anyways, there was an email in there. There was an email address that I was supposed to send, any questions or anything to before they got back to me. So I went ahead and got the email address out of there, and I sent an email saying I was really looking forward to working with this person and that I'm excited. I just wanted to double check to make sure they had got my questionnaire because I received an email after I submitted it. And of course, lo and behold, right after I submit that email, what comes next is an email saying that it is undeliverable. The address does not exist. So now, okay, here we go, right? Because I'm like, you got to be kidding. I just spent $600. All right. And this, the email address that I'm supposed to submit questions to or whatever, now it doesn't exist. So I go back to the previous email, and there is a different name on that email. So I submit I submit another email to this person, right? And lo and behold, I'm not kidding you. Lo and behold, I get an email back saying that this person is out of the office until the 19th of February. Okay, so it's the 13th right now. And by the way, I'm supposed to have a scheduled session within 1 to 2 business days. Well, I'm supposed to schedule it within 1 to 2 business days of purchasing the consultation. So at this point, I'm freaking out, right? I'm thinking, what in the world? So I decide to then send the person themselves. But by the way, I don't know if the email, because the email itself seems like it comes from the person, but I know it's an it's automatically generated email once you purchase this consultation. So anyways, but I sent that person an email too, and I've yet to hear anything. Now, I'm on the East Coast. I sent this earlier this morning, and these people could be on the West Coast. I know they're in the US, but I don't know exactly where they are, whether they're on the East Coast or West Coast. I could dive back into the website and see where the address is from. But the point to all of this is I've not received anything back yet. And, I'm holding it together, right? Because I'm not freaking out at the moment yet. But I think I wanted to bring this to y'all's attention because so far my customer experience has been, pretty crappy, right? I've spent a lot of money, and I have got, undeliverable email addresses. I'm out of the office to the 19th. I've not been contacted. I've gotten multiple different styled emails asking for the same thing after I've submitted it. Okay. And, it's discouraging. Now, I'm sure I'm going to have faith. I'm sure that this person will come through. I mean, the amount of work and the scope of this person's work and everything, it's not fake, right? So, there's the proof is everywhere that this person is who they say they are. But the thing is that I'm disappointed in the customer service up front. right? And I know it could have been a perfect storm, you know what I mean? They could have went through a change recently. This person, something could have happened, and this person, maybe there's a family emergency and they had to be out of the office. I get all of that, right? I mean, I'm not unsensitive to crazy things happening. Right, I've been a teacher for most of my life, so I get wild things happening. However, it does make me stop and really think about how we are, creating an experience for the people that work with us. When someone reaches out to us or they purchase something from us, what happens? Do we send them a message? A direct message thanking them, letting them know that, we're going to do XYZ and it's going to take us this long and they should expect it here. And we'll reach back out to them, when this is happening, or et cetera, et cetera. Do we do any of that? Do we create an experience that makes those customers, those clients want to A, come back to work with us, and B, actually go and tell other people about us? And of course, this is all rhetorical, right? Because I'm asking questions, but I'm also, as I often do, and I'm sure you all do it too, I say things out loud as I'm talking to myself as well, right? Because they're questions I ask myself. But do we really spend that time focusing on them? And it's funny because I'm sitting here in my booth and I'm talking to you all, and I'm in my editing station, right? And I'm looking around at everything, all my equipment, and at my booth in front of me, and the pictures and all the stuff on the walls and the cables and everything, and I'm like, we live a life every single day of, solitary in a way, right? We're talking constantly and people hear our voice, but we don't interact with them very much. And it's easy, I think, for me, I know, to just get caught up in my own little world now. And the funny thing is I've only been doing full time for, I guess it's been about 8 months or so, right? So, I think to myself, am I actually creating an atmosphere or an experience that is beyond anything that someone would expect? Or even think of, and if I think to myself, if I purchase something, what would I like to happen? I purchased something online. Well, I can tell you exactly what I would like to happen, and what I wouldn't like to happen is what happened to me here. Everything was going okay. I'd gotten, it was an easy follow step. I followed the step-by-step that it told me to do. And I went and I filled out the stuff. Everything was going fine until I hit the submit button. And then when I hit the submit button, it seemed like all hell broke loose with all these different pieces, more emails being sent to me saying I didn't submit it, or not that I didn't submit it, but that I needed to submit the questionnaire, and they would contact me, and then here's some messages. By the way, here's another thing too. What was weird was the email address, right? You know how you can click on the email address if you're on a computer and it'll pull up your email, your email browser, and you could send an email, it automatically populates it. Well, when I would click on it, it would actually send me to a website. Now it was the person's YouTube channel / section. It was very, if I hadn't been scammed so much, right, I wouldn't feel those little red flags popping up, but I do feel them popping up because I expect for that money for that amount of money that I spent for an hour of someone's time to be on point, right? To really make me feel like I am getting what what I paid for. Now we'll see what happens today. If someone doesn't contact me today, all right, I'm gonna be less able to hold my stuff together, and I'm gonna be quickly getting close to somehow asking for a refund. Although at this moment I don't know how to even ask for a refund. Because no one's gotten back to me. But, I have received emails, and I did send, like I said, I sent one email back, and that person was out of the office. And like I said, the first email, was undeliverable. The email address doesn't exist. Now, it could have been an old email. Like I said, it could have been a million things. But the point is that should have been taken care of. again, for that amount of money. Now, I want to point out the money thing. When because I know I have done this in the past, and maybe you have done this too, and I feel ashamed. I'll be honest with you, I feel a little ashamed about it. Sometimes people will pay me, and it might not be a lot of money, and because it's not a great deal of money that I feel it could be, right, for my services. In the past, I have thought, well, you know what? This is really bothering me that they want so much for so little. And I think that, that is a destructive way to think about services in general. Because the reality is this, A, people's money, like what we think is a lot of money may not be a lot of money, or what we think is a lot of money, or well, let me rephrase, what we think is not a lot of money, someone else may think is a lot of money, right? That's one thing. B, it really shouldn't matter of our business as a whole, depending on what someone pays us, how we treat them. We should be treating people. And of course, I guess this comes from my own personal beliefs. We should be treating people the very best way we can all the time, right? Because one, it's the right thing to do. Okay, it's the right thing to do, and people deserve a great experience. But two, karma, it comes around, right? Someone that spends a few bucks with you one day might come back and spend thousands of dollars with you, right? You never know, and you never know who they can talk to or what can happen. And I think to myself, it's so easy too for me at the point where I am on certain platforms like Fiverr to sit back and say, you know what? I mean, I am who I am. You don't want to work with me, yada, yada. I mean, I have to say, over this January and February period, I have turned down more work than I have ever turned down before. I mean, a lot of work, tons of work I've turned down. And it's because I wasn't willing to do the pricing that these people were asking. But at the same time, I think to myself, am I creating though a process in which these people and I can have a great experience, still work together? But even like when they're contacting me, am I being polite to them? And the people who are purchasing from me, am I showing them from beginning to end a great experience? Now, I do send out as soon as someone orders from me, within an hour, I respond to them. I respond pretty much immediately when someone orders something because I get notified. And I have pre-done responses, right, in the lightning section that you can fill out, like on Fiverr or somewhere else, right? So I have all of that, and I do that. And then when I submit the project at the end, I submit a very nice message with it, etc. But, I look at the whole process overall, and quite honestly, I don't contact them in the middle. I don't give updates as much as I should. I've done sometimes in the past where I've done updates and I've, told people where I am, how's it going, keeping them, up to speed about how the work is progressing. I have done that very little. And, and as I stop and I think about all this too, let's be honest. It really sucks when someone doesn't keep you notified, right? It really does. And it really sucks if, for example, you have services, right, that you're offering, like we're offering voiceover services, and for example, your website doesn't work, or there are links on your site that do not work, or your email address is messed up, or, something, your picture doesn't look quite right. Your audio, like all of these things from A to B to C, all the way to Z, all of these things matter, right? They really matter. And we all need to, and again, I'm saying this to myself as well as you all. I think all of us need to step back and look at the customer experience we are offering people or businesses, whoever. But remember, businesses are just people. Business is a fancy word that just means, it's just people running, multiple people running something, right? But they're all people. We're all people. How are we treating those people? And what is their perception of us? Do they perceive us as an honest 5-star experience? And I'm not just talking about the amazing product. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Let's pull all the I'm going to curse. Let's pull all the shit away. The reality is all of us are doing our very best to put the perfect product out there. And honestly, that's expected. So that means we have to do more than just put out a perfect product. We've got to put out a great experience. And that should be part of our focus. I wanted to tell you guys this because of the experience I'm having. And I really hope that it all just works out and it was just a perfect storm of problems that happened, and I'm sure I will get contacted today or tomorrow, but I better. And I'm not very pleased with my current experience so far, with links not working, people being out of the office, not being contacted after I've spent a hell of a lot of money up front for an hour of someone's time. And I think it probably wouldn't piss me off as much if I didn't offer services myself. You know what I mean? Like, since I know that I offer one-on-one consultations and I paid, 6 times the amount for this person's time than I charge people, and how serious I take people's time and their money. And so, I'm just hoping that all of this works out. And because of that, I hope that this message today helps you, consider what's going on. Because if you think about it, when you build a business, there's that old saying that 20% of your customers bring in 80% of your revenue. Okay? And those are the repeat customers. But in order to make repeat customers, you've got to give them an experience that makes them want to come back again and again and again. So take a moment, take some time to look at that experience. See how we can offer more than just, a voiceover file. There's more to it. There is. I mean, the best things, the best places we remember in life, it's because of the experiences. I made that funny thing the other day about Chick-fil-A. Well, it wasn't the other day. I guess it was months ago now. But we were in the drive-through of Chick-fil-A, and I don't know if you remember that, what episode it was. And my son said we were there, and they came to our window, and they were talking to us, and trying to help us like get out of the rain, and they were just doing some really kind things that had nothing to do with getting food. It was just them being nice and like helping us navigate some things in the driveway and things like that. And it's just really kind, and my son made the comment, I probably won't remember the food, but I remember that guy and how nice he was, and I mean, that's the experience, right? That matters. Because now, I mean, always my perception of Chick-fil-A is, that the experience I get there is fantastic. Sure, the food is good, but it's not, the greatest food ever. But the experience is pretty darn amazing. So it makes me want to go back again and again and again and again. And it's probably why every time I go to Chick-fil-A, they have lines that are just ridiculous. No, I've never been to a Chick-fil-A that was not packed anywhere. Anyways, I found some way to bring up Chick-fil-A in the podcast. All right, you guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for listening. I hope that through, again, my trials and tribulations, it helps you sidestep some of those crazy landmines and maybe help your customers sidestep the landmines. All right, you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will talk to you soon. All right, peace.